Hi, this is Kyle Belikopitsky, Executive Director of the New York State Parent Teacher Association. And we have a special guest today with us for a little bit of an interview. One of our partners, FC Yearbook, and Fanny and Robert are here to talk about our partnership. Fanny, Robert, thanks so much for being here today.
Well, thank you, Kyle.
Thank you for having us.
And so we were excited about our partnership because it's important for New York State PTA just to bring back some normalcy, I think, to this school year. And we know that yearbooks are part of that normalcy. I still have my high school yearbooks. I look at them every once in a while, and thankfully to Facebook and other social media, I can connect with those school friends still. So it's great that you guys are doing this. Fanny, Robert, tell me a little bit about FC Yearbook and what a digital interactive yearbook is, because it's not that traditional type of hard yearbook.
Yeah, it's great question. We have been doing digital yearbook for a few years. This year, because of the pandemic, you will see some companies started to figure out an online solution for the yearbook. So for us, our digital yearbook is the same experience as your traditional yearbook, or we try to integrate it as much as possible. So we'll get a PDF from your yearbook authoring template software. We put it into our app. So straightforward. It's very conventional digital concept that you have a PDF in the app. You can flip through it just like an ebook, very straightforward. It's the same exact yearbook that you get it from, like a printed version. What's amazing about the interactive part is then you can tap on any of your friends' pictures. You tap anyone, then a pop-up shows up, say, hey, do you want to sign this person's yearbook with the text, with the sticker, or with a short video?
Oh, that's really cool. Kids would love that. Kids would love that. Well, my son is in 6th grade, and all he does is spend his time on his phone or iPad with his friends.
What's really, really cool about that is, especially during this time that a lot of us are doing virtual schooling, that connection becomes extra special, that people can just be connected anywhere they are. Either they're at home, at school, they can still have a very cool virtual signing party, disregard how the setup is for the school situation.
Okay, so this sounds complicated to a non-tech person like me. Robert, tell us about the process. I mean, this does sound but you're telling me it's not complicated. So what does most PTAs are actually in charge of their yearbook. So what does a PTA do? How does that work? How do the pictures get to you? All of that stuff. Give me the nuts and bolts.
Right. So there's really two situations this year that didn't used to happen. One was we always had professional portraits of our students, and those would be given to the PTA in a way that would flow into yearbook software. So for kind of scenario one, it's exactly like building a yearbook in any other year. Our product comes with a Pixami software license, which is really the industry leader in simplicity and number of choices of templates to put together a yearbook. They've been around for 20 years. They do tens of thousands of schools. So you would build your yearbook, you'd get that license, you'd build a yearbook in the traditional way if you had a photographer come in. And then you just check a box when you do it, and they send it to us, and all the tech lifting, you don't have to worry about. It's automatic between us and the Pixami software. You can also do it in InDesign or another software, and we can deliver it from that. What's really interesting is this year, Pixami added a feature where the yearbook advisor can organize emails to all the families to please upload your child's picture. And they give you kind of tips on how to take a good portrait picture, because that's what's going to happen. Even with the professional portrait photographer, some kids are still at home. So they have a way to collect the individual pictures, which is really a pain point this year. And it's very organized, and then just puts it right in this automated flow where then the yearbook advisor can build them. They'll automatically be built alphabetically and by class and so on. So it's really our goal as parents who built this for our own kids when they were in preschool or kindergarten and elementary and now are much older, was to make it like, don't worry about it. Just build your yearbook, focus on what you want to get. And then we brought this new way to distribute it, that with so many print delivery interruptions, to be able for everyone to get it online, and they can still get a print book as well. And I wanted to really stress that, Kyle, because that's so important. We're not trying to get rid of a printed yearbook here. You can order it right out of the app. The family can order it delivered right to their house, or the school can still order their bulk print. But the most important thing is to get those students to interact with each other, sign each other's yearbook in the moment, and have that kind of permanent time capsule memory that yearbooks are.
And I think that's fantastic. Now, what if a school district, because we know some school districts work with a certain yearbook vendor already. Can this be a supplement to that? And how does that work?
Yeah, last year, there were a lot of interruptions. So even though they were working like our 9th grader now, he just got his, what should have been his June yearbook. He got it late December or early January. It finally got delivered to the poor yearbook advisor's apartment. And everybody has to go there. So what we're able to do is they're able to take the PDF. We don't compete with that yearbook provider that's has the contract for the print, but we can still allow a yearbook day, a yearbook signing day. So they send the PDF to us, we distribute it electronically. In that case, you can't order print because that contract is with the original yearbook company, but they can still have their yearbook day, and they can print out from the app all the signatures they got and put it in the back of their printed book when they finally get it. So we've been working with all the major companies as well as people that just decide to work with us.
And that's fantastic to hear. My school district, as an example, has about 300 children in the entire school district. We have some school districts in New York State, if you can believe it, that have less than 20 children in an entire school district up in the real North Country. So, I mean, I know this could work for a larger school district, but can it work for a smaller school district? And second question, does everybody have to buy a yearbook?
So that's a great question. I think we work so hard to make it flexible for any schools, any students. We firmly believe that every student deserves a yearbook. So we don't have minimum order. There's no minimum requirements of how many students that you need to have in your school. But there's no minimum number of pages that you need to have in your yearbook. We know this year, one of the really challenging problem for the yearbook committee is there's no content. Everybody's home, everybody's doing a Zoom. How many pages that you can fill up with people's Zoom pictures, right? So that's been a very, very unique situation. So naturally, you don't want to, there's just not many pages that you can put in the yearbook. So we can accommodate if you have 1 page, 2 pages. If you just want to have 1 page with everybody's kind of Zoom headshot, that's okay. If you want 10 pages of that Zoom headshot, that's okay too. So we're very flexible that way. So small school, large schools, we can all accommodate that. And
we had a New York school last year where the yearbooks are traditionally only given out to the 6th graders when they graduate. But a 3rd or 4th grade parent did a special book for the 25 students in her daughter's class, and she did a separate yearbook that she paid for. It's very small fee, and then they just had electronic only version of their class.
Oh, that's exciting. And that brings me, I think, to my next question when we talk about yearbooks and having all child get them. I know, is there, what happens if, we know many families are going through things like, unemployment, underemployment, and, it's more important, really to put food on that table. So, and in addition to that question, we also know that some units and PTA units in schools use this as a small fundraiser to try to raise funds to help families. So how does that work?
Yeah, there's 2 kind of forks in the road here. One is we require the school to buy the electronic one for, it's really on our website, it's $4.99 per student, but we ask them to buy it for everyone in the school. Some schools, especially larger schools, only want to do it for the graduating class, and we're flexible. But we don't want there to be the typical thing with print yearbooks. Some kids get them, some don't. We want to bring the school together, ideally, or at least the graduating class together. And we have special programs for Title I or economic hardship schools, because the electronic one, we have a small cost to do it, and we ask them to cover that, but we don't, we can help schools that are in trouble. And then there are families that want—
I'm going to interrupt you. Did you say it's less than $5? a student?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. I didn't realize, I mean, that's really low cost.
Right. And it
Yes.
can be, I mean, in previous years, these were 400-page yearbooks in some case, because we're not a manufacturing. We don't have to pay paper and ink and shipping and all that on the electronic version. The print version is highly competitive. It's very inexpensive, but it's still, you're buying a printed product. And then what's nice about this is the families that want to buy print can buy it. The school doesn't have to take on the risk of buying it and reselling it, especially now. And each family can decide. Now, to the point of fundraiser, here's the beauty. We have a very good price. We have a wholesale price that's much lower than what they're used to paying. So if we say, okay, that we want the students to buy it through the app, and we say, normally they say it costs $25, and we say, well, we'll give it to you for $17. And then we'll charge 25, and then the rest will be the fundraiser. So we will work with schools to allow them to mark up our price and then provide them with fundraising money.
This seems like a win-win. I haven't heard anything negative. I'm kind of floored right now, being a mom myself and knowing how much we pay. And like I said, I appreciate a print yearbook, but this is a fantastic alternate or another option to that print yearbook. And I want to cover, I think, all of the things that we want to cover, but because I know people's attention span sometimes wane. So let's now move to how they get a hold of you. How do they do this? We're going to be sending this video out to all of our units. So what do they do next if they're interested in this? And then I want to ask you some more questions.
Yeah. Okay. The most important thing is that fcyearbook.com has a get your price, contact us form for schools. They tell us the school, and Scott, our first outreach will come from Scott, who can work with you on the specifics of your school and making sure you get what you want. So it's very simple. And if you have a whole yearbook committee you need to share it with, all the example videos and descriptions are all on this very simple website. It's really only 4 pages and shows you each of the feature sets and how to get it. Very simple.
So I'm going to repeat that again. fcyearbook.com. Yes. And if you, as a unit leader, have any questions, you can always contact the state office. And my email, as you have it, is execdirector@nyspta.org. We can make that personal connection too. So fcyearbook.com to get all of that types of information. Now, the big question, this sounds like a complicated process. How long does it take?
Well, you'll be surprised. When you work with us and you use our Pixami partner software to create your yearbook, we turn around 24 hours. So that
I'm going to interrupt. That seems incredible.
Yes. 24 hours from your final proof, you send the PDF from the Pixami software, you check a box, say finalize, publish. We get a PDF.
Well, that's incredible. I'm sorry, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's electronic versus
it's
ink
magic.
on paper.
It's unheard. It's unheard. It's magical. Especially for this year, we heard from too many people that collecting the asset, collecting the content from the parents is really, really challenging. Some schools, they just started to returning to school or they plan to start returning to campus February or March. They have the school photographers scheduled coming in March to take the school pictures, the portraits. Traditionally, those are done in October, November, but now you have those school portraits are done in March. There's no way that you can really incorporate that in a very traditional yearbook publishing process. So our really quickest turnaround becomes very crucial for some of the schools this year.
That's that's incredible. And I think you're right. I think we saw a lot of school districts that didn't maybe take portraits in the fall because they were worried about social distancing. And now they're looking at portraits in the spring, and it's very hard to try to get that traditional yearbook if that's what you want. But obviously sounds like 24 hours is doable for all schools.
Right.
Yep.
And we expect that it's going to come at the last minute, and that's what we're accommodating. And that's the beauty of the investment we made in automating the whole process. So when you're done with your electronic Pixami book, or even a PDF that you bring us from another provider, or that you've done in InDesign or some other platform, it's very quick, automated process. It goes out to you, and then the next day you get the instructions on how to distribute it to your students.
And Robert, I know we're always looking for the best deals for our PTAs and members. You and I spoke about this, and because you're one of our fantastic Alliance partners, tell them about the deal that you're willing to offer them in the next few weeks so we can try to even save them more money.
Yes, good point. So for New York State PTA members in February, we're going to give you 20% off that starting price. And you just have to commit in February. If you still need to raise your funds or whatever, we'll work with you. But that's a special February deal for New York State. And at least get that conversation started if you think it could work for your district. There's a lot of specifics, and we're happy to go through those with you.
Yeah, this is fantastic. And I want to not keep you because I want to keep our interview short so our members will watch the full thing. Just a reminder to our units, again, this is a fantastic deal that Robert and Fanny offered us. They offered us, we didn't even have to beg them. So they said they really valued the relationship we had with New York State PTA and really trying to create those memories of this year in particular. We know that it's different social emotional learning, and we've seen increased mental health and the social isolation. And I really believe that this is a way that we can bring students together. And like I said, bring some of that normalcy back. fcyearbook.com. Please go check it out. If you have any questions, please feel free to call the state office or you can email me anytime. Robert and Fanny, thanks. We're going to send this out tomorrow.
Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you, Kyle.
I know. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay,
All
bye.
right, bye.